Central African time. It's time for us to continue with the show. Now, the Internet of Things, IoT, is finally emerging onto the market as a technology that connects devices, systems, and solutions, and that has the potential to revolutionize multiple industries. Now, globally, IoT solutions have slipped seamlessly into industrial, manufacturing, logistics, and infrastructure gaps, providing the digital capabilities that the holes in society need. This connecting technology is important to us and to business. Chris Boshoff, Senior Product Manager at Vox, joins us on the line to shed more light on this. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi there. Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, Chris, could you talk to us about how IoT needs a backbone of connectivity?
Yes, well, IoT provides for the advancement of technology, and it is really emerging onto the market as a technology that connects all devices. There are actually billion devices across the world that are connected, and there's such a lot of applications, and I think we can touch on that as we go along. But the connectivity, the technology is very important to us and to business in advancing and making things faster and easier.
And how is IoT in a predicament due to limitations and complexities that surround connectivity, such as how load shedding is inhibiting reliable service delivery? Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yes, whether using LTE or 5G, we are dependent on the mobile operators' towers, and during load shedding, what happens is that there's a decrease in the signal that one gets, and they've got a side battery, so they employ some approaches which actually affects the reliability of service delivery. Due to this, mobile operators are now spending billions to be self-reliant and not to be, have an effect on their productivity during load shedding and on their service reliability.
And also talk to us about how the Internet of Things, or IoT rather, is emerging onto the market as a technology that connects devices, systems, and solutions that has the potential to revolutionize multiple industries.
Yes, IoT is used, just to give you an idea, in road freight and crime prevention, vehicles are being tracked. It's used in the medical industry to monitor people's devices. It's used for meter monitoring in all ways. There's even applications where drones are used and intelligence are sent back to a central point. So there are one actually cannot imagine the applications, but IoT service providers are implementing a lot of strategies to make business easier and faster. Just one example would be meter monitoring. If one thinks of 1 million meters that's got to be read and record got to be kept and monitored, then with IoT, one automatically gets 1 million meters data monthly within minutes.
Mm-hmm. And the article also mentions that before writing IoT off completely, pause and look at its potential. Why is it?
Well, yes, there's actually it's just a matter of educating business in terms of the applications, and in fact, companies are investing a lot of money into IoT, and we've seen many companies in South Africa, new companies being established to provide IoT consultation and services. A lot of money is being invested into security systems, especially. That's one of the biggest applications in South Africa. If you look at alarms, there are thousands of businesses and probably more than 1 million houses with alarms in South Africa. And that monitoring, that connectivity can be done through mobile, which is a lot more reliable than any physical connections. So that makes life easier for monitoring premises, and even video as well. There's access to video cameras on sites So when an alarm goes off, one can remotely access the cameras and see what's happening. And the risk of losing the functionality of IoT is really been is addressed by a lot of strategies, but there's really a lot of ways to implement it to streamline business. There was a slow uptick originally in IoT, but we see that it's being implemented and in various industries now, and we even get a lot of inquiries about that, and we are consulting business to find solutions for them.
All right. And what do you say to people who are maybe still traditionalists and believe in maybe security systems like a lock and key, who might feel like they don't understand this internet thing and they feel like they're being watched? What do we say to them?
Well, IoT has got a lot of applications. So on the one hand, you can have a business that monitors alarms throughout the country, and that might sound scary. But then on the other hand, there's also applications for the consumers. You can monitor, for instance, your geyser. You can turn it on and off. You can see what's happening there. You can, if someone visits you and you're not at home and they're collecting a parcel, you can leave it for them in your garage. You can open your gate. You can open the garage. You can view them remotely. So it's actually not. It's not just being worried about being watched, but you can actually, watch and be in control of situations at your place. So it actually provides a lot of power in the end user's hands as well.
I do feel like there's a lot of lack of understanding when it comes to technology or this specific technology. What are some of the benefits that it brings to actually businesses and not necessarily just to the home front?
Well, in business, there's applications, to go in a bit more detail, there's a growing demand in road freight and logistics sector. That's vehicle security monitoring, and not just that, but also the drivers. One can monitor that the driver is awake, and you can trigger an alarm if he falls asleep. If his life is in danger and he's being attacked, one can monitor the situation and send someone else out to assist. Fleet and cargo solutions rely actually on IoT. It's actually a very reliable way of extending your arm and seamlessly deploy through a platform. And actually, it's quite an advanced technology which is being taken up in South Africa. We also have terms like nano tracking. So you can monitor very small devices. There's also variables which people are tracking. So in business, there's just a lot of applications. There's global coverage. Now you get SIM cards which actually can travel anywhere, and it's not linked to a certain network. People are not really aware of that. But for business, it makes it possible for a truck to leave Cape Town and drive through to up in Africa and be monitored throughout the travels across various mobile networks with one SIM card. So that's just some of the ways we are, making these things possible for business to monitor anything, even something that goes onto a ship. If you send something across, when it comes to the other side, you can see when your parcel or your container arrived, etc. So there's even in agriculture there are a lot of applications being rolled out where farmers monitor the moisture in the ground, and they can immediately take steps if the ground is too wet or too dry, which will affect their crops. They can monitor how the watering systems are working, and there's a lot of these services which are supported by operators like ourselves, and the response time is just unimaginable if you don't have something like IoT which gives you that connectivity.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
And that was Senior Product Manager at Vox. This is Tech Africa on Channel Africa. Like our Facebook page, we are Channel Africa. Do follow us on Twitter at Channel Africa 1. I am Samora Magesi, standing in for Puleng Mulibatsi today. It's 25 minutes after the hour of 10 Central African time. We're about half